All right.
Hey, Mike, can you check out, see if you can see that?
Right now it's showing July 27th.
Where is anybody even on Twitch? Where do you see the number on Twitch? It's like 48. Two. Got two on Twitch.
Yeah, there we go.
Where are you on
Yeah,
YouTube?
see
You're on YouTube?
Yeah, okay. What's happening, everybody? All right, we got 16 people in the lobby.
Where
We're gonna
are you
link.
on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. Well, it's actually YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. It's all of them together.
Where? How do you do that? On stream? Oh, okay, because you're looking at all of it, okay.
All right. So we're gonna wait a little bit longer for a bunch of people to pop in.
Yeah, there's 3 people on Facebook. I might tighten this camera up a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, there we go.
What is that? What is that?
Hold on for a bunch of people to pop in.
What is that?
Oh, he's attached to his screen.
I might tighten this camera up a little bit. I'm trying to get this thing closer in, but this is on a delay.
What screen shows July?
It's just the
It was the initial graphic probably on the AMA thing.
Cornelia. What's up? What's happening? So.
Super unprofessional.
All right, it's a little hard to start. I think when's the last time we did one of these? It's been a
A
while.
little rusty.
Yeah, it's a little rusty, guys. So bear with us. We're still trying to get everything kind of set up. Well, hey, Kay says, why does the screen say July? No, that's just an old screen that we gotta pop off. It's been a minute since we've done an AMA. So I guess what we wanted to do is we wanted to kind of talk about a little of the past events, some current things going on, some future things, and some announcements that we kind of just wanted to announce today. So I guess you want to start off?
Well, maybe the way to start is to clean up some of the old stuff, and I don't think there's any other way just to say it, but I think making quite a few missteps is an understatement that we've made so far, and you know, it is what it is, man. It sucks, dude. I don't like the fact that it happened. Brad doesn't like the fact, but we've really struck out at a lot of the things that we wanted to do. The Call of Duty thing, we ran into a variety of different issues with that, which I don't think it's important to go into, but we exhausted pretty much everything that we could think of, and we haven't been able to make any traction on that. The rewards program, you know, there's just a lot of complexity with the staking because of our reflections and the contract being renounced, and we're working through that. You know, so just a lot of the things that we tried to do, it just didn't pan out, guys. So, you know, that's why we took a little time to make sure that when we brought something back to the community, we kind of knew a direction we were going to go in. We could understand and know how it was going to monetize, and then, you know, just how was this going to fit into the things long term. And that's when we came up with the NFTs. It fits real good with our team's skill set, the things that we do each day. We know, you know, our agency we're a storytelling, you know, agency. We know how to build great graphics and put things together. And so, you know, I'm pretty excited about this, you know, bringing these military themed NFTs out to the mix. So listen, I don't think it makes sense to regurgitate anything more about the past things. Listen, we didn't succeed. We made a lot of missteps. You know, there's nothing we can do. We apologize. It's not like we tried to do it and we just got ahead of our skis. And that's why we took a little time this time to make sure that we knew the direction we were going in, and we knew we had the ability to execute it without relying on third parties. And that's why we landed kind of in this route, and I'm really excited about it for a couple of reasons. The buy and burn feature, the fact that we, it's tentative still, but the media stars that we'll be working with, we got a thumbs up today. The contract is not executed or anything, but we did get a thumbs up. It looks like our first. I asked her point blank, pending terms being worked out in the contract, are we a go? And she said, absolutely, thumbs up. And so we'll be launching our first real commemorative series with the American Sniper and Chris Kyle. We'll be collaborating with Taya Kyle on it. And I think it's going to move pretty quickly because, they have very favorable terms. She's kind of danced around with this topic a little bit. And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited because that could come out. That could be a real big splash for our first one. So that's what I expect our first big release to be. Will be with Taya and Chris Kyle, the American Sniper. We've already put a lot of thought into this and how we would do it, and I think it's going to be very newsworthy. And then the other thing this does is it brings back to the table some of the people that have decided they wanted to be in crypto, but they couldn't do anything that was risky. They settled on NFTs, which is Mr. Wonderful and John Nigerian from Market Rebellion. Both of those guys really, this is the direction they wanted us to, they could get involved if it went in this direction. We've already reached out to both of those people. They're interested in talking again. So I think this is just going to be a big, when we make this splash with Taya and Chris Kyle, it's going to bring a lot of attention and eyeballs. And we're trying, before we get this out in the street too much, I'm trying to lock down exclusive relationships with other people like Rob O'Neill, like Marcus Luttrell, like some of these other guys, Andy, where we go get them locked up too. And so we have a steady flow of projects coming out, hopefully all with media stars. And if not, we'll put our creative team together, and with feedback and input from you guys, we'll start launching special edition NFTs that are just associated with the military on things that we think are important. And then we'll be off to the races. So that kind of brings, I'm going to let Brad get into any of the specifics about the NFTs and how it all works, but this is what the path's going to be moving forward. I don't know what the drops, how many drops we're going to do and how often. Some of that's going to be dictated by the media stars if we're partnering up with them, but we're going to try to have a steady flow of drops coming in as long as we have good ideas or we're getting good ideas from you guys. That's kind of the plan. It's just going to be a constant stream of drops that we're going to be putting out there. And that's kind of it, man. So Brad, maybe you can get into some details.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're actually creating a military finance set of NFTs, and with these NFTs, you get a 5% buy and burn. So whenever somebody purchases it on the front end, whenever they or repurchase it on the back end, 5% of all of that Ethereum is going to go into military finance. It's going to buy it. It's going to burn it. The rest of the token is going to go to further the project as far as the one-touch buy, as for different media packages, is for reaching out to a bunch of different advertising agencies and getting them involved. So it's going to be for the project itself. And also, if you have a military finance NFT that we're going to be releasing soon, you're also, a certain percentage of them at random is going to be dropped. Either NFTs from the World War II Museum, it's going to be the Taya, some of the Taya NFTs. We're working with some nonprofits because we're going to create an NFT line from them.
Skyball. So
Yeah.
I have a call next week with Skyball and another nonprofit called the Air Power Foundation.
Yeah, so the Skyball and the Air Power Foundation. So when we lock down the contracts to be their sole NFT provider, we want exclusivity. And the reason for that is it ensures eyeballs on the project, and every single one of those is going to benefit the project one way or another. It's going to be a buy and burn, or it's going to create different media services for them. So we're pretty excited. So there are some military finance NFTs that we're going to release, and we're working out the pre-sale dates with Jared, as well as the amount of whitelisting slots available as well.
Yeah, so the date of the first NFT launch, what are you thinking?
So it's 1 week from today, is what I was thinking. 1 week from today, which is Friday. And that's all we have with the NFT. So we have Tay on board. We're reaching out to a bunch of other people. A lot of other people came to the table now. Now that we're kind of going this direction, because asking somebody to get involved in a token is different than asking somebody to get involved in an NFT project. So the entire ask is completely different. It's a really good way that we're going about it.
Yeah.
It's time. It is time now.
Yeah, everyone is much more receptive for this because we're putting money in their pocket, and we're not asking them to go shill a crypto or anything like that. It changes everything in the way that we're interacting with people, because when we'd ask them, hey, if we get this partnership together, we want you to do this and this and this, people are just weird about, spamming their followers and all. But now this changes everything.
Yeah, because it's not so much of asking something from the followers as it is asking their followers to pick up a product that have their stamp of approval. So we have 100% access to the American Sniper brand name, even some unreleased photos, right?
Yeah.
Some unreleased photos from Taya that she's digging up of Chris. That we could turn into an NFT line that nobody's ever seen before. So there's some really, really cool stuff coming out. Pretty excited about.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the 8 questions. The reward program, we're updating the website now as we speak. So I would imagine the website will be updated hopefully today. We'll get it updated. The Bitmart white paper is still not working. Does that mean I'm not sure what that means 100%. The Paris Hilton, so let's go back to the Bitmart white paper, still not working. Paris Hilton hat, time of sale. What we're going to do is, what our plans to do with the Paris Hilton hat is to hopefully collaborate with an artist and release it at the same time as we'll release the NFTs. We're going to make it into an NFT and do the release all at once. I would imagine the Paris Hilton thing will be one of the short-term ones we do, because it's going to be a great asset, and so that'll be pretty early on that we'll do that. Yeah. The Call of Duty update, the update is it's dead. The media kit that TH and I were working with a company out of France. It's just the media for $10,500 for a media kit. And for them to go and push it and do all those things, it just seemed a little bit of a stretch. And I'm just not sure how much value we're going to get out of a media kit. That's so anyway, that kind of ran out of gas. The donation pod still not updated. Where's the donation stuff sit, Brad?
I'm not sure. I'll have to actually take a look at it.
You can send me the updates. I'll update the site.
Yeah, so Mike's going to go ahead and update that. He'll update that today. A quick question from Catch-22, is that depending on Taya signing off on everything? Also, is it on OpenSea, all of the backend things done for being tied to a burn wallet? So yes and no. So Taya already signed off, but we still need that signature from her saying everything is good with all the NFTs. And one of the things that we're going to have to probably do is send her all the Chris Kyle NFTs for her to say, yes, it's a go. We're guessing. I don't think she's going to allow us to just make, whatever.
Well, we're going to collaborate with her throughout the process, dude. So it's just going to be a process, because ultimately she's got to put her stamp on it. But she's going to take our direction for the most part. We just, listen, it's not just us making the decision on what gets approved and not approved. So there's just that element in there of unknown, that because this is our first project that we've worked with her like this on. So we're going to push as hard as we can, but some of it just depends on, I think with the Chris Kyle thing, it's hard to even announce a date on it because we have no idea what this interaction is going to be like,
Right.
I mean, we know it's happening as soon as the contract's done, and I would say it's 99%, now that it's just but I just don't know when to schedule to launch that until we get a little bit further into it with Taya.
Gotcha. In the NFTs on OpenSea, so the NFTs, we're going to have a minting site off of our Military.Finance, probably NFT.military.finance or something, or Military.Finance on NFT, whatever another subdomain is, that you're going to be able to mint it through a white and blacklist system, and then you can put it on OpenSea after that. Media kit is needed for press release and media, so they can see fast 2 mil list. Nope, we're new. 100% agree. We're open with that media kit by chance. Is that still in the works? Now, the reason why the media kit, one of the reasons why the media kit has been an evolving thing is just because of the direction of which way we're going. But we're pretty clear and pretty fast on what it is, so the media kit's not going to be a problem.
The help of that done by one of the devs to show a bit devotion to the. I'm not sure what that question is. The help of help of that done by one of the devs to show a bit devotion to the coin. Will it be done in the end? I don't even know what that means. How much is the next donation, if there is one, for the NFT? What is the advertising plan? Do we have one, or do we need to make one like we did for help of that? Yeah, there's going to be a media plan that's going to be. We're going to issue a release, and we're going to do all the things that we normally do.
So when we have a signed contract in hand, the media plan becomes infinitely easier, right? So because it's not it's not so much Military.Finance, but it's Tay and Chris Kyle in collaboration with Military.Finance is now the media kit, or excuse me, the media package. So you can imagine adding any name to it makes it just go higher in the whole realm of visibility, right? So if we start doing really big press releases, contacting news stations, and doing the media right now, it might be dwarfed when we finally get that paper ink to say, okay, let's roll, and then we'll have to redo it again. So.
When and how much is the next donation? I don't know how to answer that. I'm not sure.
We can talk about the ayahuasca stuff that we're hoping to use as far as, with any revenue generated. I mean.
Yeah, I don't know, Brad. When's the next donation? I don't have any context on that.
So the next donation, the next donation is going to happen about a week after the main NFT launch. Is what the plan is. So what we want to do is we have almost blinders, if you will, of getting getting the creative assets exactly where Mike wants it, getting the code exactly where I want it, getting the contracts exactly where Sean wants it, and we all kind of have blinders to make sure that this gets up, gets running, and gets the attention it deserves, and then the next step is going to be the donation. So a week or two after the NFT launch, absolutely.
Okay, there was a surprise, a soldier or so in editing. Is it still editing? Do we know where that is?
Yeah, I think Jared's actually taking that editing because the guy that was editing got demolished by Adam, so he's kind of out of pocket for a month.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Jerry did. Yeah. Forbes, did that happen? Will it happen? So the Entrepreneur, we just got word from Entrepreneur yesterday that it's in the final stages. So I would imagine, I don't even know if they're going to give us a warning when it's coming out. We probably will get something the day before that says, hey, it's going to drop tomorrow. And so the Entrepreneur thing, and the way, the Forbes thing, we needed to, Forbes writes a lot. If you go look and search NFTs, a lot of the top articles that come up are Forbes, and they won't write about anything that's theoretical. They'll only write about things that are actual. And so we were holding out until we got this stuff done with the NFT. And now we're going to submit a draft to Forbes that's going to be based on this NFT and the Chris Kyle thing, hopefully. And now it becomes a much better story for Forbes. So both of those things, they're already paid for and they're already in the bucket. I think Entrepreneur will hit pretty soon because they gave us an update that said the writer or the journalist is in the final stages of it. And then the Forbes thing, as soon as this stuff gets ironed out in the next week or so, we'll write the brief to Forbes, and then that process will begin. And they said it's 8 to 10 weeks before it'll be in with Forbes.
Yeah.
What else? I made a request to get my mail from CatchCloud. I never got it. I think, Brad, you're handling that, huh?
Yeah, so I'm handling that. I wanted to handle it last night with the CatchCloud stuff, so I'm actually going to go into the back end, take a look, and see why it wasn't approved, and then manually approve it. But I'll get into that this afternoon.
Where do we stand with the donation pod to the website, the DigiFinex?
That's what Brian's gonna give me the updates. We're gonna update it today.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll update that today. We'll update that today for you guys. Listen, so on this initial NFT that we sell, either this, the mill one, we're gonna put a price on it. And in my opinion, the proceeds that are made from the sale, whatever cut mill gets, I think the first order of duty is to get the DigiFinex thing done and get the one-click buy in. So that's where the majority of the money, if we can do it, is going to go towards the one-click buy process.
Yeah, because it's just not just a one-click buy on Trust Wallet that this gives us, but it also gives us
A new
exchange with 5 billion USDT per day average
Which
volume.
is better than Bitcoin.
That's right.
Okay. The question was one, if you will make a help of that, I think. That was a
Can
question.
you give me the window version of what an NFT is? So an NFT is a non-fungible token, and what that is a bunch of different artists, or not just artists, but content creators can create a on blockchain digitally signed image, video, audio, that even though you can make copies of it, it's not the original. It's kind of like who's your favorite actor? Who's your favorite actor? Just give me one.
I don't even know.
Okay, so we'll say Bill Murray, because he's Sean's favorite actor, right? So Bill Murray signs a picture, and then somebody can actually make a photocopy of it. Even though they have a copy of it, it's not the original sign, and that's essentially what an NFT is.
Different thoughts on the idea of physical items being shipped to owners of certain. Yes, so there's a lot of things that we can do besides just the digital artwork. One of the things we were thinking about with Taya is, if we could record some of the rare ones would have, an audio of Taya or video of Taya that gets released. We can do things like we could have physical items that are sent based on, a random thing, and we could have, some merch that goes out. There's a lot of things that we can tie into this. We could tie it into a military mastermind with Taya, where, certain ones have this access to that. So I think, there's a lot of things that we can do with it. And I think the sky's the limit. We're just trying to get this part of it off the ground. And then I think everything's in play.
Yeah. There's a lot of metadata that you can put into NFTs. You can even open up a casino, a Military.Finance casino, and then put poker chips inside these NFTs to use at that casino. And you could get a million chips, or you could get a billion mil chips. But that's one of the things that you could possibly do with them.
So is there a reason that the social media campaigns seem to be a bit lacking? I see you guys in the professional paid efforts, but I don't see many daily ad efforts that help spread the word on places like Reddit and Twitter. Yeah, I thought that we were pretty active on social. We just haven't had a lot to talk about Exodus 03. We haven't had there hasn't been a bunch of stuff to talk about that's exciting. And so I think that's going to change. Some of it has to do just with the lack of direction. And then, I would have thought things like the help with that, some of those videos would have gotten more traction, but the web's, it's a weird place. You don't ever know what's gonna get people's mind, and it requires people to start sharing the content. So I think it's it's unpredictable, and then we haven't had a lot of really cool things to talk about. And I think this is going to change all that.
Yeah, that's been one of the things why there hasn't really been too many AMAs, because how many times are we going to go in front and say the same stuff? We just now it's time to execute.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had really a lot of great things to say, except we sucked again this week.
Yeah, it would have been bad, but I'm really excited. It's almost like when we very first started, because we're kind of going in this whole new direction. We have the backing of some really big people. We opened up. When we got into the token world, we're at Sean was saying this, we're at the very end of the altcoins for that time, but now we're kind of at the beginning of the NFTs. And if we can if we can kind of solidify ourselves as in the military veteran space as the go-to people. The connections that we have, the octopus legs are just all over the place. Amazing. And I'm really, really excited about it.
Yeah, Medal of Honor. In fact, gold. There was a couple of. I know the Skyball. I have a call with them in the Air Power Foundation, but I think there was a Medal of Honor. There's a guy that is current. He's active duty military. His name's Kevin, and one of the things he does on the side is he loves going out and building communities for these nonprofits. And so he's probably the foremost guy in the country connected to military nonprofits. He knows all the same media stars. He knows Chris Taya, he knows Luttrell, he knows Rob O'Neill, he knows all of those people. We're working very closely with him. And so I think he mentioned Medal of Honor or one of those other big nonprofits to work with. So I think, we're going to be able to get put in front of pretty much every big player in the space, and then we just have to work out terms with them, and hopefully we can get that stuff locked down. Because if we get a big buzz off the Taya Kyle thing, what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of copycats, because we're going to wake up an audience that didn't know this existed. It's like, holy moly. And so we want to kind of plant the flag that we're the guys to come to for any of this stuff, and here's our success track. And I think if we get a good one with if we really do well with this Taya Kyle and American Sniper, I think it's going to set us up where we'll start having inbound coming into us saying, hey, can you collaborate with us? Can you work with us? That's what we hope. Could we possibly pair with other veteran-owned cryptocurrencies, Snafu, Black Diamond, Indie, and I think Meta Hero? They're going to probably try to steal our idea, if anything.
No, we're really kind of, there's a little bit of trepidation when kind of pairing with any other token or something like that, especially if it's an unknown one. If it's a known one, absolutely. But there's so many scams, there's so much just screwery going on that it's kind of important to make sure you vet it 100% before we even say that we're going to partner with them. And on the flip side, that's exactly what these celebrities are doing to us. They're making sure that they're vetting us, or they're looking at what we've done, what we've been through, and now everything is kind of coming together. So. I'm just talking more about just showing who you guys are and what you have accomplished already. So much compared to shitcoins that are moving for no reason. Updates too, of course. Man, everything's been such a blur. I don't even remember half the stuff. No, in all seriousness, no, that's absolutely true, and it's kind of baffling a little bit about the things that we've done versus others. Something that we've brought up multiple times, but the only thing we can do is keep on keeping on, and we're not stopping. So.
Cornelius said too many scams and too many fake veteran coins, so he probably sounds like he mirrors your sentiment.
I
will tell you this, I'm going to mention another token on our thing just because I've never seen anything. These guys are right up the river in Baton Rouge. They launched something called the Game Coin. I've never seen anything like this before. I think they only have 1,600 or 1,700 holders, and they have a $350 million market cap, which just seems really strange to me.
323 now.
$323 million market cap. So if anybody wants to go take a look at what they're doing, it's GME and they're on PancakeSwap. So you guys can enlighten us on what you think they're doing, because I've never seen anything. I've never seen a token with that little holders and that big of a market cap. But they're doing it.
Yeah, no, so, but they're at 1%. They're at 1% liquidity, so it's going to be it's nothing really, in the liquidity pools. I think it's a little bit less than 1%.
So Stuart, you're asking. So run through an example. So let's just say we launched 10,000 of the initial Chris Kyle American Sniper, right? So what happened is, you're going to have the initial ICO. We're going to sell the 10,000, and 5% of the proceeds from that will automatically get bought and burned. And then you have the resale market where there's going to be people reselling that. And so we'll get 10%. There's a 10% fee that's coming back to us in a residual that, Tay is going to, the media star will take a portion of it. Mill will take a portion of it. And then there's the same burn on the 5%. And what we plan on doing with the additional resources, to give you an example, is the DigiFinex, the one-click buy. With that additional money, we want to partner up with the Hearts on Fire organization, which is sending the soldiers to the ayahuasca treatments. Then, a certain portion of the money is going to go towards that. And then a portion of the money is going to allow us to go create these additional relationships. Maybe we can come back and relook at some of the products that we were trying to develop and see if maybe it makes sense now, because we can bring in additional resources to help us figure this out. And so the additional money is going to go to operations and advertising, and really just trying to get back out in front of this thing, spending some real money driving attention to the project. So 100%, basically all of the money that's coming in is either going to go towards the burn, or it's going to go towards operations, advertising, and partnerships. So that's the benefit. The more eyeballs that we get on the project, the better it's going to do. And right now we just kind of had ran out of gas, which is running out of money to promote the thing. And now we'll have the resources to go do some of the things that we want to do that are going to bring a lot of attention to the product.
Can you run, okay, so who?
I just read, that's what we're going to benefit. So so in the case with Taya is going to, we have to negotiate the terms. Taya is going to take a large percentage of the, the revenue that comes in, and then we're going to get whatever's remaining, and the buy and burn just stays consistent. So every time we launch one of these things, it's going to provide liquidity and cash flow for us to go, do the things that we want to do as a community. And then it's got the buy and burn, which over time can become substantial deflation, making the token deflationary.
Yeah, so then, and I guess expect you to have some artworks. Who wants them? So it's kind of like, NFTs are one example. Who's that artist that actually released that audio track for $1 and what it was like 60?
Oh yeah, Tory Lanez. He released his album. It was probably about a month ago, or maybe a month and a half ago. He put 1 million copies out there for $1 a piece. They sold out in 60 seconds. And a week and a half or 2 weeks later, some of them were selling for up to $60,000.
These are examples of NFTs that.
Yeah, I mean, some of them go for millions. Some of them, it depends on the rarity and then the marketing of how many people in the pool want it.
And then we're going to have these special edition things that are going to have just, that it's going to be extremely unique. There's going to be a percentage of the NFTs that ultimately are going to become more valuable because of a certain element, special element, maybe with Taya. There's one that's integrated with her or kids, or some kind of special thing that Chris did, or a gun. So that's part of the creative process is putting the story together on things that we think are going to catch fire and become super valuable.
Yeah. So and then one of it is who would want them now. I've been telling people about NFTs I've been talking to them for about a week, and then the question I get is, why would somebody pay that much for an NFT, or why would somebody want an NFT, especially for that price, when you can just screenshot it and get it? And it's about it's turning into a digital image thing. So, they say it's not a physical item, it's a digital item. Why would you spend some money? Well, however many followers you have is a digital item that people value. The blue check mark next to your name is a digital item that people value. And I would actually, if you think about it, the reverse is actually true, where people actually don't see the car you drive, they don't see what's in your house, they don't see how big your TV is, but they see the digital items you have anywhere in the world. So it's kind of, NFTs are turning into kind of like a more valuable than the physical products you have. And it's just the way that it's working, and people are voting with their dollars, and NFTs are clearly winning.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys trade like baseball cards or sports cards, but they've made like an incredible revival over the last several years. And some of the things that will release are going to be like essentially it's like a Pokemon cards or baseball cards. There's going to be some in that pack that just wind up becoming more, they become more valuable. And so that's one way to look at it. And then maybe sometimes we'll create just art like the one Mike had up from Beeple. There's so you guys are asking about collaborating with other artists. It seems to me in the NFT space, the really good artists are creating products for themselves, but one of the things we think, we're speculating that when you get these big names in, it's going to be a lot easier for us to go out to some of these big artists to see if they want to collaborate with us, right? So we have put together a pool of designers that we're working with right now that have experience in the space. But it's really it's graphic design, and it's 3D animation, and it's all the things that we work with every day. And so it's just a matter of continuing to build that network of artists that we're going to work with, so we can continue to scale. And then at some point, if we get enough buzz, I think it's natural that some of these really high-end artists are going to want to collaborate with us on projects because they see our success rate. So I think it just happens over time.
Yeah. And so when we hire an artist like Lee, for example, then what we'll do is we'll work out the terms on the back end. So make sure everybody's whole. That's all.
Yeah, we can have any kind of background content that we want. We can either just release images, or we can have. I would imagine we'll have some rich media in there with Taya sprinkled in somewhere. Whether it's some kind of message from her, but that remains to be seen. But I think the sky's the limit.
Yeah, so that's actually something that we're kind of working back and forth is what's in that metadata for Taya, because it's going to be different from Taya to Andy to Denise to all the other ones. All right, cool.
All right, guys. Well, it was good connecting back with you guys. I appreciate you sticking in there with us, and I think we're about to start running fast again. So you'll see a steady flow of things coming from us. We'll be updating the website, all the stuff that we need to get out there and start bringing attention to it. And then this first initial drop will happen next Friday.
Next Friday, yep. Next Friday. So is the Shield Team 6 ready? So the things I want you guys to come out with is that with the Military.Finance NFT drop, it's 5% buy and burn. It's the rest is going to go to further the project. Anybody who purchases a Military.Finance NFT, because they're going to be really, really inexpensive dollars.
What do you think? $20 for the first one?
Well, I'm not sure. So we're going to take a look at the minting. We do want them to be very rare. So they're going to get some drops from the American Sniper, from all the World War II Museum. They're going to get possibly drops from a bunch of different celebrities for the Military.Finance. Yes, you could still buy the American Sniper NFT through the minting process. But if you have Military.Finance and you have airdrop access on a either a random or an overall scale. So
and what are we going to do? We're going to need them to go and sign up and put their Mill wallet in for the airdrops, right?
Yeah. So Jarrett is going to get the program in place for you guys to get on the whitelisting services. So Jarrett's going to put that in place.
The membership rewards program at this point is just on hold. Everything that we're doing is focused on this. And I think, as we get going again, that's the one thing that we're going to really go back and explore. We ran into some hurdles, logistics hurdles. There was just, we hired those developers. They put together a scope for us, but then there was the staking component, which, it became complicated with the staking component. And guys, it was just tough to get off the ground. So that's where it sits right now. But I would imagine that's going to be the first one we'd go sink our teeth back into once things get back going again.
Yeah. Bit more update. So with the market maker bot, there was an issue because it was a third-party bot. So when somebody would buy, it would shoot up the price really, really high. So right now we're kind of looking into why that was, and we do have another bot that we're waiting to put in. So we're kind of messing with that. So that's going to be anytime soon. But Bitmart's not going away. We're still on Bitmart. We just have to fix the graph as well.
That's what I'm saying. Let's get fired up.
Yeah, no, it's time, guys.
Dude, Mike pulled an
time.
all-nighter last night, just getting things together. Yeah, we have a direction, man. We're gonna start running fast, we'll see what happens. We're gonna take a good swing at it though, just because it makes things a lot easier when you have the American Sniper coming out the gate as your first one, just from a press standpoint, who might pick it up once we put the media release out. And we start working the media channels and building the buzz. The Forbes thing's going to be focused on it for sure. So that'll be something that's sitting in the queue. As soon as we get this lockdown with Taya, I'm going to write the brief, get it over to Forbes, and the clock starts ticking. It's 8 to 10 weeks from there. So, just in the Entrepreneur article is going to be hitting within the next couple of weeks, which also is going to be a great, we can take that and then with this new direction and go out and, that can be used to shill and get people in the project. So things are going to start moving again.
Okay, so Catch-22, new exchange, yeah, so everything's gonna hit at once. So the DigiFinex, we were approved with DigiFinex, which not only will be on a $5 billion per day volume platform, but it also gives us that little buy now inside Trust Wallet where people could purchase right within Trust Wallet. So we got approved for all that. Now we're just waiting for the funding. These NFTs are going to allow us to open another opportunity, another avenue into that, which is going to be awesome. So it's all the marketing, it's the entrepreneur, DigiFinex, it's NFTs, it's everything's going to hit all at once. It's going to be an awesome next few months here.
So Levi's asking about the comic book. In fact, I put the comic book on hold because I noticed that in a good way, Marvel on August, I think 20th or 21st was the first comic book that got released as an NFT. And so I've already talked with Taya about this. She greenlighted the project, but I knew we had this NFT in the back of our head, and we're thinking about some cool ways where we could release maybe the cover and then release each page as an NFT. And so there's a variety of different things that we want to do with it, but I think the NFT strategy, Levi, is going to be a good strategy for the comic book.
Yeah, so with the comic book, it's a little bit more detailed than just a comic, because one of the things that one of the ideas was taking these Iraq and Afghanistan stories and then turning them into either little comics or little videos and then sending them out as NFTs and preserving the untold stories. So that was another avenue with the comic book, but we're 100% open to talking to you, especially because I know you have a lot of comic book experience.
Who Levi does?
Yeah, he's a great artist.
Okay.
Great artist.
Well, Levi, let's connect, man.
Great artist. I think Twitch is having some problems. It's going in and out, but I think it's their servers. Streaming Twitch is maybe an issue on Twitch then. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We love you guys. Thank you guys for being patient. Everybody that's in the room, you guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are in for a pretty fun ride with these next few weeks, next few months. So
yeah.
All right, if you guys have anything else, just give us a shout. Otherwise, we'll be in the chat and we'll be available for you.